That is a significant amount of water. I feel like Austin Powers right now. A friend of mine, he's out of town right now, and he asked me if I could go out and cut his grass, because I guess it's getting pretty long. I really like this Sportster for the back roads. It's nice and nimble, a lot more planted. There's way less like sensors and stuff kind of getting in the way of the feel of the motorcycle. The Street Glide's more of a street bike. It's not really made for going down dirt roads and stuff, and I guess to the same effect, neither is the Sportster. But the Sportster's a lot more controllable on loose gravel because it's about close to about 300 pounds lighter than the Street Glide. I have ridden this down dirt roads quite a bit, so I don't really mind doing it. The Street Glide, on the other hand, it's a fairly newer bike. I try to treat it with a little bit more respect. I'm pretty excited to get out here. Beautiful out. Well, there's another thing to add to the list of things to do today. The guy that I work with, he's moving. He's got a lot of crap at his house that needs to go into the garbage. I'm like the classic friend with the truck. He knows that I've got a truck and a trailer, so he asked me if I could do a dump run for him. Oh my God, there's so many mosquitoes in here. I'll fill this up fast. Jeez Louise, so many mosquitoes. God, I hope they're only bad in here. Hopefully I can figure out how to start up this Husqvarna. It shouldn't be terribly different from my JD. That sounds full. First time driving a Husqvarna. Okay, got choke right there, choke's actuated. Throttle down, parking brake up, these things are out. Should start up. Yeah, simple. Let's get this lawn mowed. That's just about enough of lawn mowing content. I'll pick this up when I'm all done. I've got enough other stuff to do that nobody wants to watch me mow a lawn for 25 minutes. I'll catch you in a little bit. Made it home just in time to go back out again. Dog's gonna be mad because I'm home and I'm not going in the house. That bike is so much fun to ride. Honestly, I thought I was only gonna be mowing that lawn for maybe about an hour and a half or 2 hours, but it was so thick. Some of the sections I had to go over like 2 or 3 times. I'm sure some of that was how dull the blades were, but it's not my mower, it's my buddy's mower. He needed a quick favor, so that's what I did. So now I gotta hop in the truck and take care of the next thing. I'm heading to the dump now. I'm making 50 bucks doing a dump run for a guy that I work with. He's got a bunch of garbage in his old place that he needs to get rid of before he moves. I'm the guy at work with the truck and trailer. Go figure. It's at least worth my while. I had a great time riding the Sportster through the back roads there. That was awesome. Picked my trailer up from Buddy's house there, and it looks like we got an array of stuff, including an old mattress, but I'm quite happy he didn't want to come with me. I just don't really feel like being social today. Also, I would have to backtrack on my way home to bring him back to his place. Now I am going to head to the dump. I'm going to shove all of his crap out of my trailer, and I'm going to head for home. Please don't cost me money. That sucks. When I pulled up at the dump here, I saw that truck parked with the four-ways on. The light was green for the truck to pull up to the weigh station. I was thinking, like, is this guy run down in the woods for a pee or something? I drove around it and the guy wasn't even there, talking to the guys at the weigh station there, and I guess his truck broke down. Looks like he made it back to his truck. Hood's up. Thing looks pretty new to be broke down at the dump, but it is what it is. Sometimes that happens. I'm on my way home now. I'm sure I'll find something else to do. I'll see you guys there. I've had a very eventful day full of doing things for other people. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do something for myself. I'm gonna take the Street Glide here to the wand wash. A day after I washed it there last weekend in my previous video, I rode to work and it rained. And when I rode it home, it got very, very dirty. So it's kind of just been sitting here gross for the past 5 or 6 days. Looking for an excuse to crank my hog, and that's my excuse. I got to the car wash here, take my sweater off, throw it in the bag, immediately start blasting the bike off, and I lost the bag that I put over the air filter. I figured I'd just spray around it, trying to get too much water in the intake system. Yeah, I was at this for quite some time, doing the high pressure soap, and then here I was using the foam conditioner. I'm not really sure if it does anything, but it looks cool when you rinse it off. It smells pretty good too. And here I am rinsing it off again, making sure there's nothing left over soap-wise or conditioner-wise. And then this right here is the spot-free rinse. And what that's supposed to do is filter out all the little minerals that's in the water so you have a better finish. And now I'm just blow drying all the little water droplets off before I wipe it down. I set my camera up a few different spots here because I thought it looked pretty cool, blasting the water off the bike. And then I'm using my detailer there, wiping it on with one rag, wiping it off with another. Really getting in there, making sure it's nice and shiny. No water droplets left, no water spots left. I got a few weird looks from the attendants working there because, I don't know, I assumed that they wanted me to pay for using the bay the entire time, but I figured I'd spend enough money there that it didn't matter. And now I'm on my way out. After I was all finished washing my bike, I went for a little ride. I decided I was going to take a couple clips of myself riding around a little bit, and you can really enjoy the sound of this M8. It just sounds so awesome. That does not get old. So I set my camera up a few different spots just to get a few different angles here. Wasn't going hard at it the whole time. And then it was time to head for home. It was a beautiful evening out. I thought this was a pretty cool spot to stop and take a couple picturesque videos of the motorcycle on the side of the road. The sun was like just getting ready to set and the lighting was pretty well perfect, I thought. Right here, that's just incredible. I went to go mow my lawn again the other day. A recurring issue came back up. My mower started running like trash again. I cleaned the carb before, I put fresh gas in it, it just kept spitting, sputtering, running like crap. So I took the carburetor off again, I went through that, I cleaned it all out. I didn't see any sort of like sediment or any trash or anything in the bowl. There was nothing plugging up the jets. I've replaced the fuel filter so far. I pulled the spark plugs, I checked those out. I didn't replace them because they didn't need to be replaced. I couldn't figure out what was going on with this thing. When I'm not really too sure what's going on, usually the problem's
me. So I called a friend of mine and I asked him, like, these are my symptoms. This is what I've done. What do you think? And he said that it sounded like either the carburetor was plugged up or I had water in my fuel. It was only spitting and sputtering at high idle. If it was going to run like trash from water in the fuel, it would have done it all through the RPM range. I humored the situation. I siphoned the gas out of my mower. That is what came out of it. So that kind of gel looking crap on the bottom there, that's water. I went through all that headache of taking my carburetor apart, rebuilding it, pulling spark plugs, changing fuel filters, changing fuel lines, pulling my hair out, wondering what's going on. And it was just good old water in the fuel. I didn't video any of it. I went into I need to get this done mode because my yard was half done and we had a rainstorm incoming, and I am not leaving my lawn half mowed. When you're troubleshooting something, start with the simplest stuff. I've got a tendency to do this, and there's all kinds of guys that turn wrenches that think that the most simple thing is not what the issue is. Always start with it. Sometimes it's simpler than what you think. I've got this little set of carb cleaning brushes that I bought. I think it was either on Temu or Amazon. This was like $2.50 or something. And they're great. Has like all these different size brushes, and you can use that to clean out your passageways and your jets and all that stuff. Excellent, cheap piece of tooling. That's the story of what was going on with the mower. I went and I ran the thing across the yard for 2 hours after that, and it was fine. How did all that water get in the gas? Because like this is maybe a little bit over a cup of gas. It's like 250 milliliters. That is a significant amount of water. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm almost positive that the last time that I mowed the lawn, I got rained out. I don't think that I put the filler cap back on the mower. Kind of a bonehead move. I'm gonna put my quad out in my shed for the summer. It's not really seeing a whole lot of use in here, and it's just kind of taking up space. With this out of the way, I'll be able to have both the motorcycles in the back there, and I'll be able to get my wife's car and my car in here very easily. I am also running under the assumption that that thing's gonna start up. Before I even try to start that thing up, I have to move my mower out, I gotta move my 2 pit bikes out of the shed, and make a little bit of room. So we're heading out to the shed now. Get the 110 out of here. Needs to be choked. I swear to God, this thing's probably heavier than a 110. Half choke? See if it starts. It's a Honda, of course it's gonna start. Now I gotta get my mower out of here. I think I'm gonna put the quad probably over on this side here. I have to move this spare trailer tire. Probably over here is fine. I actually haven't ran this quad since, I want to say April. It was our second last major snowstorm. As soon as that snow melted, I pulled the plow off and I parked it in the corner here. And it is doing an excellent job of holding up my hockey gear though. It really should start up. If it doesn't, then I got some major issues. Turn the fuel on, pull the choke. God, I hope this thing starts. It's a Honda, of course it's gonna start. I'm really hoping that there's enough room in here for the quad and the zero turn. I might have to do a little bit of creative rearranging in here. I'm going to try to back in diagonally, and then if I have to, I can pick the front end up and swing it in and try not to bump my head off a kayak in the process. I feel like Austin Powers right now. That is as far back as that's going to go. I really hope that my zero turn fits here. There's full throttle and it's working great. I wasn't able to do that before. Yeah, now that there's no water in the gas, the thing runs wicked. high probability that if I keep doing that, I'm going to the emergency room. Death trap put away. I guess I could put the hoist next to that workbench. Maybe I'll try that out, and if I don't like it, I'll rearrange it next week. It's highly likely. I kind of like that idea for now. I've got my garage all tidied up, but before I show you what I did there, I'll show you what I did with this thing this week. So when I bought this, it had a pretty sizable dent at the front of the hood. So I did the body work the right way, and I ordered the OEM Mazda hood deflector and put that on there so it covers up the dent. Cost me 150 bucks. I also put on these window visors. They're not really going to serve a whole lot of a purpose for me. I just think that they look nice. These were 30 bucks on Amazon. Very easy to install. Lastly, I'm not really too sure how well you can see this. I bought these knockoff WeatherTech floor mats off Amazon. They were $150. They're raised edges and everything, so they're gonna get all the water and slush and salt and whatnot off your shoes, catch it in there so it doesn't soak into the carpet, and potentially rot out the floor. It came with the 2 front mats, rear passenger mats, and it also came with a hatch cargo area mat as well. And it came with backing mats for the backs of the seats. So I'll show that to you as well. Raised lips, containers with liquid in them, and not really worry about them breaking open and going all over the place. Backs of the seats are all covered here. Honestly, for $150, you can't go wrong, because $150 through WeatherTech, I think you're only getting maybe like the front 2 mats, and the whole thing is protected now, so I'm quite pleased with that. Anyway, that's what I've done with my new to me rig this week. I moved my quad out in the shed, and now I can park both motorcycles here. My thought process with the angle parking here is if my wife's car is parked there, I might be able to possibly have a chance of pulling the bikes out without having to move a car. If my car's in here, I'm definitely gonna have to move something. I've got my hoist right over here. Next to the hoist, all those snowmobile parts. I really got to get my button gear and get that main case done in that Grand Touring, because winter's like 5 months away, and I'm not going to keep that sled. I'm going to sell it. So the sooner that I've got that back together, the sooner I can move on to a different project, have all these parts off my shelf. So I might even start that this week. I'm just going to have to find a way to get the sled in here. I'll probably just push it with my quad to the hoist here. When I first moved in this place, I didn't think that I'd ever fill this area up. And here I am, running out of space. Oh, another cool thing that I did, I've got all my vintage sled helmets up there. So when I'm grabbing things off the shelf up there, I'm not potentially knocking them over and making them land on the ground and cracking them open and stuff, because I do kind of like that stuff. I think that's probably going to do it for this video. I know it's kind of been all over the place with what I've been doing. Like, I went to the dump. I did a dump run. I mowed a lawn. I showed you what I did with the Mazda. I cleaned up my garage, rode some of my stuff around the yard. It's just one of those weeks. I don't have a major project to do. I'm not always going to have a major project to do, but I'll have something every Thursday. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you guys next week.